Hi guys, and welcome back to another video from me, Tom Dollimore, the #1 ranked FPL manager on the FPL Research and FPL Forum live rankings. Let's have a look at how I did in Game Week 2. So I ended up on 42 points, bit of a disaster game week. I ended up captaining Palmer in the end. It's probably one of the closest captain decisions I can remember, and I thought about it for a very long time. I think earlier in the week, last week, I was pretty set on Salah to keep it simple, but I saw a few potential upsides for captaining Palmer and ended up going that way. And it was all a bit of a waste of time in the end because obviously Palmer didn't even start the game. It's left me with a bit of a headache. But yeah, 42 points, bit of a disaster. Pretty happy with my defence. I got Pedro Porro off the bench for Palmer, so that's 5 points. That was quite nice. Started Dubravka over Sanchez, as I said I was going to. Got me an extra 3 points there. That was quite a hard decision as well, but in the end I stuck with it. Then I got Reinders, Strand Larsen, Mateta all blanked. I'm pretty happy with my defence overall. Murillo, he's not really been delivering, but I'll still give him time, I think. But yeah, when that Liverpool game came, I was sort of sitting there hoping for Wirtz and Salah to deliver. Had Salah vice captain, and obviously right at the end Salah got something, but I think ultimately the captain decision was the right decision. It's just the way it goes sometimes. It's a good time for an example of how I deal with a bad game week. So obviously we had Bruno Fernandes with the penalty miss as well. So that's unfortunate, but he got his DEFCON points, which is kind of what I said in the first week, is at 9 million, I think him regularly getting DEFCON points, it makes him such a good asset. But when that Liverpool game, I think I didn't even watch the end actually. I kind of just cleared it out of my head the game week already because I thought this is just a dead game week. I'm going to mentally move on from it. But obviously Salah got a little something at the end. That's quite nice. But yeah, ultimately I can look at my team now and I can say, Palmer, what am I going to do with him? Wirtz again didn't look great. I've got a lot of money in him and he's not really doing much. So those are probably the biggest concerns I've got. But yeah, I kind of mentally just think if Bruno Fernandes scored his penalty and Palmer wasn't injured, it probably would have been a completely different story. So I think the team's still good. Obviously got to deal with Palmer. Just a bit of misfortune in this week, and I'll literally mentally cut off that week, move on, not think about it. Look at the data models, look at the numbers and see what it's telling me. So moving on to how I'm lining up for next week, or what my plans are for game week 3. I'm starting with Sanchez in goal. I think that's quite obviously the better fixture there. Fulham at home. For Chelsea, I think, to be honest, most times I'm going to be starting Sanchez. Dubravka's just nice at 4 million, and occasionally he might have a good fixture that trumps Sanchez, but it's mostly going to be Sanchez with Dubravka as like the backup. But I'm going to be starting Murillo. I think home against West Ham, we know how West Ham have been. I think, hopefully this is the time he starts delivering some points for me. Pedro Porro and Romero, I mean, Spurs defence has been delivering well so far. Bournemouth have looked good, but it's home for Spurs, so be starting them. Moving on to midfield, I'm going to be having, at the moment, I've got Bruno Fernandes starting. I think that's fairly obvious. Everyone kind of knows that fixture's good this week, home against Burnley. Cole Palmer, we'll come back to him. I've got him in the starting lineup currently, but we just don't know yet. Salah, Arsenal's obviously a hard fixture, but it's Salah. I'm not going to bench him. Not going to sell him. Still got Wirtz in there. Obviously, if I didn't have the Palmer issue, he'd be my biggest concern right now. And yeah, I think he's definitely on the hit list already, but I'll still be patient. Then Reinders, he blanked in game week 2, but it's only 5.7 million now. Away against Brighton, it's not the worst fixture. Then we got Strand Larsen, obviously hasn't delivered yet, but scored 2 goals midweek, so we'll stick with him. See how he goes. See if he can start delivering. Everton look quite good, really, but it's a home fixture, so hopefully he can get something for me. And then Mateta, yeah, he's going to be starting away to Aston Villa. Still stick. The forwards haven't really delivered yet for me, but still going to stick with them. At the moment, they're not. We know Mateta delivers. And bench, Anderson, Esteve and Mark Guiu. So, what are my plans from here? Let's address the Palmer situation first. So I got kind of my mentality is still roll, believe it or not. I know Palmer's a bit of a risk, and you've got the option of going to Cunha or Mbumo if you wanted to. But I think there's basically there's three options I've got or three potential options depending on what we hear about Palmer. So I think and in general at this point, I think he's probably, my gut is saying that they'll probably rest him and get him out of the international fixtures, and then give him some time to recover for game week 4, and then game week 4 he'll be back and he'll be fine. Now we'll see what you hear on Friday, and yeah, Friday we'll get the press conference, which might not tell us much, but then we'll also get the England squad. So if he's in there or if he's not in there, that'll give us some information. So, but ultimately, what I'm thinking is, if we happen to find out that he's going to be playing or he's fine to play, then I'll probably roll, start Palmer. Because it's an injury, I think he either plays or he doesn't play at all, so he probably won't come off the bench. So we'll probably start Palmer, and then if he doesn't play, we'll get Anderson off the bench, or currently I've got Anderson first bench, but it could be Esteve. But yeah, currently it'll be Anderson. So I think if we happen to sort of get an indication that he plays, then we roll and we do that. If we get no information at all, or not very much indication of anything, then I think I'm sort of split on what to do. I'm still currently thinking roll in that situation, and I do the same. Start him. If he doesn't play, I don't think he'll come off the bench. I think he plays or he doesn't. Anderson first bench again. There's the transfer I'm probably looking at if I'm going to do one. I know a lot of people are looking at doing Palmer to Cunha, but I'm just not a fan of any of the other United attackers at the moment, long term. And if I buy a player at that price, I want it to be long term. And I don't think, from what I've seen from United, I'm not sold on Cunha or Mbumo at 8 million without penalties. I think either way, Palmer's back in game week 4, and I don't want to sell him for a player I don't want long term, use a transfer, and then ultimately probably need another transfer to get rid of that player. So you're looking at 2 transfers to deal with the situation, and I don't think it's worth that, personally. So what I'm actually looking at doing is potentially doing Anderson to Dorgu, because Dorgu gets that good fixture, and I like him long term as well at the moment. I don't mind him as a long term pick. Obviously, it's a lower price point, so he's less risk. And yeah, I just as a player, I don't mind him long term. I'm sort of already sold on him, I think. But the only downside to that is I also like Anderson as a long term pick, and it would mean selling him. So, but it fills the fixture gap of Palmer missing out this week. So yeah, if we hear he's ruled out, then that I may lean towards doing that transfer. But yeah, those are sort of my Palmer thoughts right now. I don't think there's really any other options at the moment other than Palmer. The only other plan that's sort of bubbling away is, I think, Wirtz to Gakpo. I think at the start of the season I wasn't too sure on Gakpo's minutes long term. I think we're starting to see that he's getting the minutes, and there's no sign of many other attacking options at Liverpool. So I think you save that money, downgrade Wirtz, and go with Gakpo. Now I'm getting a bit more confidence in his minutes. So I'm not going to do that this week. I might do that soon if we continue to see this pattern, but I'm sticking with Wirtz again. I think everyone else I'm pretty happy with. Captain this week, we're looking at Bruno Fernandes. I just think he's the standout option, to be fair. Quite an easy one. I know a lot of people don't see him as a captaincy option, but for me, with that fixture, home against Burnley, I think no doubt about it, really. He's just got so many ways he can score points. He's got the penalties. He's still got a reasonable attacking threat, even though he's playing deeper. And he's got the DEFCON potential as well. Yeah, I can't see, with the other fixtures about, I can't see any other option at the moment. Probably won't go, unless we know he's probably going to start. I'm probably not going to vice captain Palmer. If Palmer is fit, but he definitely, yeah, if we know Palmer's starting, it would definitely be vice captain Palmer. But yeah, I'll probably have it on Salah without that information. In terms of other thoughts, potential other options other than just using transfers, I've played around with the potential of doing a free hit. I don't, even though Palmer's a big scoring player, a lot of money invested in him, 10.5 million, I still don't think the free hit adds enough potential points to my team this week. It's a difficult one because we've got so many chips this season. My sort of judgment on how much a chip is worth is a bit off. I'm not too sure, but I still don't think that the free hit is worth it this week to deal with the Palmer situation. I had a look at potentially wildcarding, had a little think about that, but wildcard is a long-term decision for me, or for setting up for another chip usage. And I don't have a firm plan on what my chip usage is going to be, so I can't set up for anything, and I don't have a strong enough feeling about the landscape of the game or what the template is yet. I know we're starting to get some sort of indication, but no, I'm not ready to wildcard yet to sort of rescue this situation. It's not bad enough for me. Always aiming to roll. Hopefully we get a bit of news so I can roll again, build up those transfers. But yeah, we got some potential options. We just have to wait for the news. But yeah, I don't have a chip plan yet. Probably in the next couple of weeks I'll start thinking about that. Start looking for some potential scenarios that I can work towards. But at the moment we're still just feeling out the landscape of the game, trying to build some transfers to try and attack. I think just touching on some of the players that have been doing well so far. I think, João Pedro, I'm a Chelsea fan and it absolutely kills me what's happened this week. So I think, yeah, while Palmer's out, he definitely gets a boost. So it's kind of a double whammy of bad luck for me there, because we don't know what could have happened. I think the Palmer captain was the right choice, but I think João Pedro definitely got a boost from him not being in the team, and he gets a boost as long as Palmer's not in the team. So until we know what's happening with Palmer, if Palmer happens to be out long term, then João Pedro might become an option. But at the moment, it's still not an option for me yet. I think Gyökeres is obviously starting to come on the radar for me, but quite expensive, so I need to see a bit more from him still. It's all just been in 2 weeks. 2 weeks is such a small sample of data and results that it's not anything to react off yet. So just keep it calm, just making these little notes each week of players that are doing well and players that I'm not liking in my team, but not overreacting, just taking it nice and slow. Good approach is pretty much how I play. I think that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Palmer's fit. What would I do if Palmer's fit?